Roquan was definitely the answer.
The thing I want to say about Tua is that all the stats are there. There's no doubt.
Just don't think the it factor.
But this is, and right now,
I would love to hear that statement, man.
Yeah,
right now, this is, you know what this reminds me of?
Here we go.
The Tua over Herbert, the Tua over Burrow, the constant comparing of these quarterbacks feels a lot like Dak versus Goff versus Wentz. There was a point in time where people said Wentz was better than Dak. There was a point in time people said Goff was better than Dak. Well, we know Dak is much better than them. He was then, he is now. Tua's Goff in this scenario. Joe Burrow's not Wentz because he's way above that. The two obvious franchise guys in the class are Herbert and Burrow. Those are gamers.
Jalen Hurts isn't in this conversation.
I'm sorry. I forgot about Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts a lot, and I think he is in conversation.
See, my thing with this conversation we're going to have right now is I can at least sit here and acknowledge that these are 4 franchise guys. I don't have a problem saying that. Whether I choose one over the other is a different conversation. But what should be common knowledge is that these 4 guys are franchise-level guys, and we should be talking about this class as one of the best quarterback classes of recent memory.
I'm not quick to just call them franchise guys. I think Hurts has played phenomenally. It's still wait and see when he faces an elite playoff defense. Like these are the things that I feel like matter. Justin Herbert, I will say, gets an exemption from this.
See, but that's what bothers me.
It doesn't bother me.
It bothers me.
Because I know Herbert is phenomenal.
And so do I.
His team is just holding him back. That's really what it is.
The issue is I agree with that statement, which is why I find it so hard to sit with what you're going to say next.
Joe Burrow has been to the playoffs and has faced elite defenses and has showed out against them.
Elite defenses in the playoffs?
Dehls, do you want to say?
Elite defense in the playoffs? What elite defense did he play in the playoffs?
The Chiefs were a top 10 defense last year.
Yeah, second half they turned it around for sure.
Did.
Titans defense.
The Titans defense is not a slouch either.
Titans defense was really good.
Joe Burrow got pressured the most times.
Offensive line's terrible.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with the elite defense.
Joe Burrow
took
took the most sacks in an NFL playoff game in NFL history and won the game.
No, he's
He
He's a savage.
He is a gamer.
He's amazing.
He's proved it at that level.
He's a dog.
The thing with Tua is that, look, he's having a phenomenal season. There's no doubt. He's playing a top 5 quarterback level, top 10 quarterback level, yes. To just say outright, and when I do my quarterback rankings, my rankings will be based off of who's just playing the best this season. I'm not going to get into all the nooks and crannies of it because it's just too much to
That's facts.
throw into context with. I'd rather take 10-plus quarterbacks to run the Dolphins' offense than Tua. I don't believe Tua is an actual top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
For this system, there's not a lot of guys. I mean, obviously you're going to have your obvious Herberts and Mahomes.
Would you rather have Matthew Stafford or Tua run this system?
Tua.
Over Stafford.
Right now?
They just want to.
Do you see how Tua maneuvers the defense?
What would Tua be doing with the Rams right now? Right there in that situation.
He'd be fucked.
Cooper Kupp would still be eating because Tua is the king of getting the ball out early. Matthew Stafford is having a tough time with that right now.
What I'm saying is that situation matters. And we're seeing it with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. We're seeing it with Tom Brady in Tampa to a degree, even though Tom Brady's still playing great. We're seeing it with Matthew Stafford with the Rams. This is why last year I love Stafford, but I didn't put this enormous amount of stock into him winning because the team was stacked. You take away the top Odell Beckham, Robert Woods, and that offensive line is worse.
Von Miller.
And now, what is Stafford now? He's playing at one of the worst quarterback levels in the NFL.
Let me ask you this. If Tua's statistics, because forget about it, the eye test, I'm there, I see it all. If Tua's statistics weren't this, and they were around Jimmy G's, and I say Jimmy G's because similarly, he's in a great situation. Amazing offensive mind. Deebo Samuel. Now you have CMC, but let's forget about that. It didn't matter who you had at the running back position for the Niners. Just seemed to always have success. Mm-hmm. Trent Williams, great offensive line. George Kittle. If Tua's numbers were Jimmy G's, then I'm sitting here, I'm shaking your hand. But it's not. It's top of the league.
I also think this system, and I tweeted out in the Ravens game, is perfect for Tua. This is not a system
And
that's
I'm not
going to ask him
I
to
feel
do
like that's
the
not.
most.
Is that a knock?
I don't think so.
No,
No,
this,
no.
this
Hold
is
on,
a
but
system,
this-
but this is on McDaniel, who came in
Absolutely.
and built this offense around him. This system is built around having these elite wide receivers who are getting fucking wide open, and Tua is going to hit them in stride 95% of the time and let them, after the
In
catch,
this
do what they
system-
have to do.
In this system, Lamar or Tua,
I mean, Lamar.
easily.
Yes.
Right?
What's
Burrow-
wrong with saying that though?
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong with saying. I'm just saying there are 10 quarterbacks I would rather take.
Oh,
in that same
let's hear these 10.
situation.
Oh, you're gonna name them. Okay, please.
Mahomes,
Easily.
Okay.
Josh Allen,
Yep.
Joe Burrow,
Yep.
Justin Herbert.
Wait, why
Lamar
so
Jackson.
calmly Joe Burrow?
Oh, shit.
Because I think Joe Burrow's better than Tua.
I would also.
That's
yeah.
why.
Joe Burrow is. I'm still taking Joe Burrow over Tua. He
That's
led the
why
league
it's
in completion
calmly.
percentage last year. The accuracy's neck and neck.
Other
'Cause
ones,
that is the trait you're looking at.
I'd
to
rather Aaron
differentiate.
Rodgers in his system
Yeah.
still. Tom
would too.
Brady. I'd rather a year of Tom Brady in the system still.
probably.
It's just we always find a way to move the goalposts.
No, the
'Cause
goalpost-
now it's
the
gotten to a
goalpost
point
getting moved.
because now quarterbacks can come in and have
I mean,
success.
my-
but the whole issue, Riv, was
No,
that
I'm-
Tua wasn't supposed to do this.
I'm not-
That's why I have a problem with this.
Wait. Everybody knew Tua was going to have a great statistical season this year.
You kill me. You kill me.
That's
I have
not
a
that's not
question.
wrong. We all
It's
knew
not
that.
It's just a cop out.
It is.
It's
It
a
is-
cop
No,
out.
it's a cop out as fuck, but it's a
hold
true
on,
cop out.
Kyler Murray or Tua?
Tua.
The Dolphins.
I would say Kyler. In the
That's
system.
8. Derek Carr,
Do
Tua.
intangibles not matter to you?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun.
Let me ask you. Derek Carr.
Derek
I
Carr was
said
crazy.
Deshaun. I said yes to
Tua.
Deshaun.
Deshaun,
Derek
I'm
Carr-
fine
Dak
with.
Prescott.
Ooh.
What can't?
Okay, we're
What is
violating
Dak
too.
doing that?
What do you mean?
Tua can't?
Dak Prescott has been
What is
consistently a
Dak
top 10
doing-
quarterback in the
But
league.
what is Dak doing that Tua can't?
That's facts.
Answer that question. You
Tua.
can't.
Tua. This is the thing.
Oh, you were talking
And
about
this,
Fields,
this,
man.
this, and
I
this,
thought too. I still have to
well,
know about
it's
Fields.
both. It's both. It's both.
No,
we're
but
talking,
we know-
We're,
we
talk-
know,
we're talking
we
about
know,
Tua right now.
we know.
Shout out
It's
to
fine.
Fields, man.
It's fine.
Fields is
This
a savage. I mean,
this
for,
is
for what he did these last few weeks, for sure.
this is my issue with this too, right? Is because it's like, what does Dak do that Tua can't? Well, Dak can use his legs. He's more mobile than Tua. Dak has a stronger arm than Tua. That's a fact. Dak Prescott has been consistently a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, but Tua has a
So wait,
good 6
He's
games.
in year 3.
Oh my
Drew, hold on,
goodness,
He's in
Tua's
year
better.
3.
Hey, Drew, hold on.
He's
Why?
in year
So wait,
3.
Joel, can I ask you a question?
And you told me that he doesn't have this great arm throwing deep down the field, right? 20-plus yard throws. Second highest graded quarterback. 18 completions, second highest in the league. 64%
He's
completion
statistically
percentage. This is
amazing.
first. This
Yes.
is first in the league.
So wait, Joel, can I ask you a question?
And 117 passer
Tua's
rating.
deep ball hangs in the air for a while. It's not one of the better. Matthew Stafford has a better deep ball than Tua. Tua may be statistically better this year. He does not have a better deep ball than Matthew Stafford.
But who cares if it's hitting?
There's a brand new fantasy app. It's called Boom Fantasy. You got over-unders, player props. You got matchups. This player versus that player. That's personally my favorite, and long shots. You can win 40 times your money. And if I'm not mistaken, Joel, NBA is coming soon.
Yes, sir. NBA will be in the app in the next 10 days or so. You know, I believe opening night is October 19th, so we'll have stuff up a few days beforehand. That's going to be fun because we have it every night. You don't have to wait till Monday,
Did you
Thursday.
get your code? For the
For
league
what?
pass?
I did get my code
I
for
got
League
my
Pass.
code too.
Yep, that's amazing.
That's from 2K, right?
Yes.
That's tough.
amazing.
That's fire.
So if you guys haven't already, download the Boom Fantasy app right now. Link is in our description or in the caption wherever you're watching.
But
I
today-
said Dak has a better arm than Tua. That's a fact. That's not that's not fiction. That's a fact.
'cause it
his
looks-
arm is stronger.
Tua doesn't have the same zip that other quarterbacks have, and that's fine.
If
These guys are
Tua, if
wide the
Tua,
fuck open.
if Tua goes to the AFC Championship game, he wins 2 games and goes to the AFC Championship game. Would you take him over Dak then?
Yeah, I would. But this what I'm
Jared
gonna say
Goff
too.
went to the Super Bowl.
This what I'm gonna say.
Ew.
It really.
I'm just saying,
This
'cause
what I'm
he's making
saying.
the Jared Goff
It
comparison.
depends on how he does it.
I'm saying he does this
I will.
like
I
he-
will. This. I also want to make this point. Kirk Cousins has for the past
Right.
4 seasons in Minnesota been a top 10 level quarterback.
Statistically a dog.
Yeah, maybe like top 8.
What if he's in this Miami system? Does he not look similar to what Tua's doing?
they can put
This
a
is
very
what
similar
I'm.
number.
This is what I'm saying.
But this is
This is what happens.
That's not
Drew.
Jalen Waddle and
Drew,
Tyreek
This is
Hill,
what
bro.
happens when you have these type of weapons.
I don't even
This
think
is
so. I
like,
think, like-
this is just something you're gonna have to live with, and it's fine. And Tua's your guy, so he's gonna prove you right or prove you wrong. He's your guy, so you think he's gonna prove you right. But when you have Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and you have this explosive offense with McDaniel, who's one of the best offensive minds 6 or 8 games into the season, this is what people are going to say. The system around him, and
disconnect-
But
and
do you
real
hear
quick,
that with
sorry,
Joe
real quick,
Burrow?
real
Do you
quick.
hear that with
no,
Joe
but this is
Burrow?
what I'm about to
That's
get
the
into.
shit that
This is
gets
what I'm about to
me,
get
man.
into. The
Yes.
difference is when things around you aren't right. Like, for example, Joe Burrow loses Jamar Chase for the first time in his career. What do you look like when you don't have your top weapon or when your offensive line isn't playing well? In this case for Tua, his defense is terrible. He's still winning games. That's why I'm not sitting here and crapping on Tua, because when everything around you is working right, that's why I had this take that the Bengals might have got lucky last year, because everything was going right. They didn't have any injuries. The opponents in the playoffs weren't difficult. When everything around you is going right, it's very easy to look good. But when things around you are chaotic, when the offensive line's breaking down, when there's injuries, then when do you look like? Right now, Tua hasn't had to deal with that offensively. Tyreek's been healthy. Waddle's been healthy. The offensive line has stood
And the
up.
scheme has not been
And
figured
how
out
about
yet.
his
McDaniel
own
was
issue
great.
where he just came back from a serious concussion?
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
And he's come back and been unbelievable.
For sure, but that's what people are going to say, because the system's so good and everything around him is so perfect. It's going to be, well, if I have a team and I could pick between Tua and Tyreek Hill, I'm going to take Tyreek Hill, and that's what people are going to say, because Tua's been doubted for years. So people are obviously going to have their biases. They want to be right on Tua, so they're going to say it's the system around him,
Right.
it's the
It's just
quarterback, it's the
continuing
receivers.
to move
I-
the
The goalpost
goalposts.
has got moved,
I
but
appreciate your.
I don't think the goalpost
I-
got moved.
But the
though. I think they're
goalpost
both
got
right.
the goalpost got moved, and I said it because
Explain to me then.
it changed early in the year. Coming into the season, it was, is Tua a starting level quarterback who could take you to the playoffs? That's thrown out the window. Now, when we're talking to have these conversations about Tua, is he top 5? Is he MVP conversation? Is he above Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert? That's when you have to get really into the nuance and the specifics on it. When you have to break down, if you put all the quarterbacks in this system, who looks like what?
Joe, I appreciate your level-headed analysis about this situation.
Screaming.
I think the question with Tua has always and will always be, is he a franchise quarterback that was worth getting selected with the 5th overall
Still
pick?
asking that question
Yes,
is
I'm not
hilarious.
That's fair.
I still
Both
don't
are
know
right,
if he's
though.
a
I don't-
franchise guy.
Listen, I'm Jalen Hurts guy. I can't go out and guarantee, because for
Hold
example,
up, Joe. How many times I've been critical of Tua? There's no doubt. How many times have I sat here and also said you can win with Tua? You can win with him as your quarterback. You can win with him.
So is he a
Dude,
friend?
you gotta stop. I
You can
allow
win with
flip
you
aside
can win Jimmy.
for other
You can
things.
win with
For
Jimmy
this,
G.
you lose me.
You can win with Jimmy
With
G.
this, you lose me, man. To try
if a quarterback is asked what situation would you want to be in right now, of all 32 teams in the NFL, they're looking at Miami as the first option. That is a quarterback's dream. The disconnect that Drew and I have on this subject is that you place the number one importance on Tua when I feel like it's the receivers, it's McDaniel, and then it's Tua.
and it's also when we're talking about all these other guys. Herbert last year put up 5,000 yards, 38 touchdowns. His rookie year was sensational, breaking records. Joe
With the
Burrow
worst
went
offensive
to a
line in the
Super
league.
Bowl.
Can I ask you-
Dak Prescott year in and year out.
Are they
That's why
taking the Dolphins or are they taking the Eagles? Eagles
Eagles.
have the best offensive line. You have A.J. Brown.
if
you
you're
have
talking
Devonta
just
Smith.
offense, it's probably Miami. You got Waddle and Tyreek.
But the offensive line is like there's no.
I don't know if
past
it's that easy.
It's great.
It's
But-
you can't say easy. Yes, they have the best wide receiver group, no doubt, because Waddle clears Devonta, but A.J. Brown is in that top 5 conversation.
But he's not Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek
No,
Hill's
there's
Tyreek
no
Hill's
one.
the best
Tyreek Hill's
receiver in
the
the
one
league.
right now.
He's the best in the game.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill's top 1.
It's a conversation. I'm not going to say it's not a conversation. It's a conversation. It's a conversation. I think
Nick
the
Sirianni's not a bum by any means.
I love Nick Sirianni, and when he first got hired, I was the one saying this guy is a good coach. Although he fumbled in a presser, I was like, don't worry about that. He designed the Colts offense. Since he's left, Colts offense has been mid in the passing game.
All right.
It's just when I look at Tua,
That was
he's
unnecessary.
playing great right now. And does the system fit his strengths perfectly? Yes. He gets the ball out quick. He's been much better at manipulating with his eyes. He's been very good at anticipating. He has good traits.
He throws wide receivers open.
There are great traits about Tua. There are great traits about Jimmy Garoppolo too. There are quarterbacks that are not the greatest
are they
have
still in
great
the same
traits
tier?
about them. I would put Tua a little bit above Jimmy G.
A little bit,
But Jimmy Garoppolo has also when he's healthy and started for San Francisco,
he's never been this.
he's been a top 5 quarterback
He's
in EPA.
never
He's been
been
top 5 in
this.
EPA.
Yeah,
though.
but he ain't been this though.
Has he ever been this?
He's
never been this.
Answer.
The offensive personnel that San Fran has had is not this.
It's fantastic, though. And you have Shanahan.
2019 when they went to the Super Bowl, who was the best
George
receiver?
Kittle.
2019?
Kittle?
It was Emmanuel Sanders on the outside. He didn't have Waddle and
It was
Tyreek Hill.
Debo hasn't been Debo till really last year.
It didn't have Tyreek or Waddle. That changes things in how defenses have to play them.
That's right. You just got to find something to highlight.
No, it's a fair analysis. It's just that people,
the
goalpost moving analysis.
The goalpost
gets moved the farther you go up.
And also,
and that's why I love that.
It's because the questions changed. The questions changed. In the offseason, it was is he going to get benched for Teddy Bridgewater? Now you're saying he's in the MVP conversation.
No, and I get it. I get why the conversations changed because you're 100% right. People have to find a way to be right because they want to stand on their word.
Well, no, but
why can't we just
right as you're going up in these ranks?
Oh, absolutely.
You have the questions
I'm with
change.
you. I'm with you.
If we're having a conversation, should you play Teddy
think-
Bridgewater?
I think-
Why the fuck?
No, I'm with you.
Tua's been amazing, though.
But
This
the
is the
only
thing.
thing that I have an issue with is when you try to what's the term I'm looking
Diminish?
for specifically? Thank you very much. You try to diminish what he's done by
his-
highlighting the things around him.
Which is unfair.
That's my
I think It is
issue.
unfair.
Because again, you said it. Questions change when you start to play at a different level. That's what happens when you move up. Because people refuse to admit that they're wrong. So they try to create a new narrative. Can he be this? Can he be that? Is he this? Can other people come in and do what he's doing? That's what happens. That's the issue that I'm taking.
I get what you're
Why
saying.
can't we just acknowledge and appreciate that he's playing at a level that almost no one anticipated?
That was a major question. Does Hurts get the same question marks as Tua?
Yes.
No.
Does he get the same criticism?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
But
I look Tua and Jalen.
No,
Hurts
they're in the
are
same
still,
boats.
Yeah, they're the same.
Because when me and you have our conversation, what did I say?
And I'm fine
Hurts
with that.
has to win a
I
playoff game for
agree
you.
with that.
To be a franchise player, is he playing great in the regular season? Of course, you can highlight that. But to be a franchise quarterback, I think that's what he's alluding to. To be a franchise quarterback, you have to do it when it matters. You have to win a playoff game.
So is
And that's
Herbert a
just
franchise quarterback?
Herbert is a special
that statement is
case
super
because his
flawed.
talent is fucking ridiculous.
He
But
is.
because it's case by case, speaking to just Hurts and Tua who have the same case, and this is why we always have this goes back and forth because they have to win a playoff game when it matters for us to be considering them a franchise quarterback. They can play great in the
game's
regular
important,
season,
but
you have to win a playoff game.
sample
Because that's
size
what
has
makes
to-
franchise quarterbacks.
Also, to piggyback on Riff's point, this is the difference between the Herbert and Tua thing, and I'll even throw in Lamar into that because Lamar is not a playoff. He hasn't had much success in playoffs. Lamar is the system in Baltimore. Tua is not the system in Miami.
0-3 when he hasn't played.
But he's not the system in Miami. He's the
it is
he's
made
the point
for
guard
Tua.
of the system.
Great front
He's
row.
not
They did
the
their job.
system in Miami.
He is.
Everything in is he the system? How Lamar is the system in Baltimore?
No.
How Josh Allen is in Buffalo?
No, he's not.
He's not. But those aren't well-run
But
offenses.
listen,
you have only
they
so
are.
much.
Wait, hold up, they are.
You only have so
Buffalo
much.
is.
Buffalo and Baltimore is
Buffalo
their top
because
offenses.
Lamar
No,
is.
that's
I mean,
no.
because
Yes,
Josh is that good.
Allen goes
Has to.
What do you
crazy.
mean? Baltimore is the top offense too, though.
I
Because
know,
of
but
Josh.
again, why hasn't he had success in the playoffs? His leading receiver yesterday was Isaiah Likely with 24 yards.
Oh,
This
he's
is
about
the
Lamar.
this is the Herbert point though that I'm making. We've seen Herbert when he is not in the best situations. His rookie year, worst offensive line in the NFL. What did he
Losing
do?
record.
What did he do? Historic season. The best rookie quarterback season a quarterback has ever had in NFL history.
You told me statistics aren't everything, though. You just told me this.
But you know
But
when
you-
you look
you-
at
you-
Justin
it's-
Herbert.
it's
That's
obvious.
my
It's
issue.
obvious.
Because I'm with you.
When
Well, I
Tua-
mean, when you
when
look at
Tua was
Tua
in a
and you
bad
look at
situation,
Herbert, who has
that-
more talent? That's
Wait, hold up, Joe.
Oh,
Hold up, Joe.
Tua can do. I mean, excuse me.
When Tua
Herbert
when,
is fantastic.
Hold up. When Tua was in a bad situation, he was a bottom 20 quarterback.
Yeah, he was
when
mid.
Justin was, he's a top 10 quarterback. The Chargers offense right now is super
Depleted.
flawed.
Yep.
The only reason why it's a top offense in the league still
Austin Eckler.
is because Herbert is holding it by his strings.
Austin Eckler
Any-
gets no
Same
credit.
thing with Allen and Lamar.
Austin
any
Eckler gets
quarter-
no credit.
any-
But Tyreek Hill, we can just talk to no
Are
end.
you comparing Austin Eckler to Tyreek Hill?
Have
Really?
you seen what Austin Eckler's been doing?
Yeah, but the impact's
Stop.
different. The impact's different. The impact's
issue-
way
the
different.
issue
Tyreek
that
is
I'm
the best in the game
listen,
right now.
listen. The
Eckler-
fact-
Austin
not.
Eckler to Tyreek Hill, a running back to
We're
a
not-
receiver.
My-
I get what you're
The
saying, though. He
best
has help.
receiver
I
in
get
the
what
league
you're saying.
to a running back. Are we serious?
Tyreek was
Are we?
crazy.
Is that
No,
really
please
what you?
please
Is that
keep
the name
talking-
that came out your mouth?
Justin
Austin
Fields.
Eckler.
Here's-
I still want to talk about Fields.
Justin Fields.
You keep saying that, and it's highlighting that you don't know a goddamn thing about Austin Eckler. And my issue is, I know you know. So the fact that you're talking like this is embarrassing.
But they're not in the
No,
same
it's
conversation.
not.
Of course they're not.
The fact that you
Of
think
course they're
Austin
not.
Eckler has the
That
same
is
impact
not-
to the Chargers offense that Tyreek Hill had to Miami's offense
Are we
means
serious?
that you
Is that what
do
I'm
not
saying?
understand
Is that what I'm saying?
the difference of tiers they are in.
If that's what you're manipulating,
Is that not a fact?
if that's
Hold
what-
on,
no,
Joel.
if
Hold
that's
on.
what you're manipulating,
Tell me what you actually meant by that statement.
the fact is that Austin Eckler has been unbelievable come red zone with any dip and dunk, rushing the football. Austin Eckler right now has been the offense.
Over Justin Herbert?
Yes.
Austin Eckler has been more important to the Chargers offense than Justin Herbert.
No.
You're losing me, King.
No.
So what are you
He's
saying?
the most important
Right now,
aside
yes,
to
of course,
Herbert,
Herbert's
yes.
the guy.
The
But
most
without
important
Eckler,
piece
this
in
is
Miami
nothing.
is Tyreek Hill,
Yes.
not Tua.
Yeah.
It's not Tua. It's Tyreek Hill.
So Waddle means nothing either. So Waddle's impact, like, that's not benefiting Tyreek Hill either. Tyreek Hill is amazing. He's the best in the game. But
Waddle is benefiting from Tyreek Hill more than Tyreek Hill's benefiting from Waddle.
100% agree.
Yes.
That's why
100%
Tyreek
agree.
Hill's in that tier by himself.
I'm with you.
He's
I'm
the
not-
offensive player
can't
of
say
the
by
year
yourself.
right
This
now.
offense changes.
Without Eckler, the Chargers have no offense.
Correct.
That's facts.
That's not facts.
It becomes
I get what
a
he's
very
saying.
To Josh Palmer,
Josh Palmer had
and
almost
Gerald
100
Everett,
yards last
but
game.
it's Josh Palmer. Like, no disrespect to
Eckler
you,
wasn't
Josh.
even that great
He had-
versus the Falcons on Sunday.
He had two
two
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
He had 2 touchdowns, but the entire offense, the drives were
Yes,
Herbert-centric.
Herbert,
Of
yes.
course, Herbert is the best
But
player on the
that
offense.
just shows how great Herbert is. You remove Eckler, he's by far their best weapon with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Eckler had
out.
47 yards, rushing 3.4 yards per carry.
How about the whole season?
He had 2
But
touchdowns and receiving.
yes,
touchdowns,
but
right?
the
am I
drives
talking
are
about
led
one
by
game?
Herbert.
I'm not
Of course,
talking about-
yes, of course.
Duh.
Of course.
Herbert, when his receiving core on Sunday was Josh
Ugly.
Palmer, DeAndre Carter,
Nasty
Gerald
bitch.
Gerald
and
Everett.
Ben Bree. I don't even know how to say his name.
Respect him.
Last year, the Chargers were a top 3 offense in points per drive. That was because of Justin Herbert.
course.
Justin Herbert doesn't take sacks. His offensive line, he makes it look better than it is. Herbert is on a different stratosphere. That is just what I'm alluding to. That's why Herbert is a special case, because we've seen when he doesn't have
Yep.
the best situation around him, he's still a top 5 quarterback.
And that's what Joe Burrow is going through right now. When he loses Jamar Chase, he had a rough game against Cincinnati.
But guess what? Guess what, Joe? But guess what, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's rookie season was cut short due to injury, unfortunately. He didn't have Jamar Chase. He was on pace to match Herbert's season.
Yeah, I mean, he had like 1,000
To be
attempts a
fair,
game.
Drew, the only way that would change our minds about Herbert is if he gets the great situation and fumbles the bag.
He was supposed to have this great situation.
They all got hurt.
They all got hurt.
Mike
They got
Williams
that
is
curse and
hurt. Keenan
shit.
Allen is hurt.
But Tua's been playing amazing.
Rashawn
so I get what you're
Slater's
saying.
hurt.
He does deserve credit.
Yeah.
Eckler has 10 touchdowns this year, bro.
He's been unreal.
Yes, Eckler has been good.
He's
but
amazing
he
in
does
the
not,
receiving end
He
also.
does not match Tyreek Hill's impact
No,
to an
of course
offense.
not.
Not close. Not close.
And at the end of the day, we're talking about a running back's impact versus a quarterback. Justin Herbert is
no one's doing that. No one's doing that.
If you replace Herbert with a lesser quarterback, that offense is a bottom 20 offense in the
Yeah,
league.
it might be bottom 5.
Do you think I'm arguing
There are
against
guys
that? Am I-
running. There are
he's saying-
guys
Am I
running
arguing against that?
I
into
think
each
Drew's
other.
saying the win result won't change though. It's still
No.
going to be L's.
Well, they're still winning right now with Herbert.
True.
They're
Barely.
5-4 or
Barely.
5-3. If I'm not
they are
mistaken,
5-3.
they're 5-3 with
Get that
all
bye.
the injuries. So
fighting.
let's not act like Herbert is 1-5 right now. He's winning with these injuries.
Finally,
Yes.
yeah.
They
Here's the thing,
almost
right?
beat the
And
Chiefs
probably
in
winning
prime
instead-
time.
He's
coaching
winning,
staff that's
but
probably
being
on the hot seat.
underwhelming statistically, but just getting the job done because, you got to manage a game.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But the thing is, he manages a game, isn't statistically wowing, and he gets praised for it.
Well, we know Herbert.
Tua's an MVP conversation.
Yes.
What else do you
I
want?
hate
Well, no, but
that.
this is the thing, Drew. Before
You're
this,
comparing him to a
before
special
this year,
case.
before this year, we did not see that with Tua. We've
He
already
was winning
seen
games and
Yeah,
managing.
I know, but we did not see the special like Tua has
Can
been
I-
this year. We've
hold on.
already seen
Is it-
special with Herbert. We
Is
already
it
know
fair?
that.
Is it fair for me to just ask? I want to see this Dolphins offense against a playoff legit defense and see
The
how
Bills.
Tua performs against them.
They weren't healthy.
Can I see
They weren't
Tua
healthy, Drew.
in a playoff atmosphere? Can I see Tua
And
in a
that-
Week 17,
the Bills
Week
game is
18
not
games
like
or
this
game
Detroit's
is on
game
the
been.
line?
It's not like the Chicago
no,
game's
no, no.
been.
But he still played very well against
They
them.
weren't
no,
healthy.
for sure.
There are quarterbacks that have had spectacular seasons that we know were not franchise guys. Alex Smith in 2017 was an MVP candidate.
Nick Foles.
He was not a Nick Foles
Nick
had
Foles
a
with the Eagles, though. That's a different case.
That's a
Nick
special
Foles
case.
was
Respect him.
amazing.
That's a
Now,
special
Nick
case.
Foles with the Eagles is
Respect him.
really, he's a borderline Hall of
Yeah,
Famer.
Ryan
respect him.
Ryan
Don't go there.
Tannehill had 2 top 10 quarterback seasons in 2019 and 2020 with the
And Henry
Tennessee
backpacked.
Titans. There are situations where the offense is just so great that a quarterback isn't asked to go above and
But they
beyond,
weren't this good.
and it makes them look better than they are.
I
weren't this
don't
good.
disagree, Joel, but at
Like,
this
bro,
point,
the window dressing that McDaniel does within the offense.
That's what he's supposed to do.
81% of their plays, they use motion.
As he should.
They use trips. It's a quick
How
passing
about-
game
how
off
about-
of vertical
But how about
concept.
no?
It stresses the
that
defense.
kills me because how about Tyreek
never
Hill
run on
and
second time.
Jalen Waddle being middle of the pack in terms of yards after catch? Because if it was really all them, they'd be number one. But they're
been
not.
dogging, bro. Tua's
They're
been-
not. It hasn't just been Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. It's been Tua hitting them where they need to be hit.
You got to give Tua his
Let's
respect.
stop it.
You got to give Tua his
I
respect.
think Tua's a good quarterback. I do.
He's been great. He's been
I
great
think
all
Tua's
year.
a good quarterback.
He's been
Without a doubt.
fucking amazing. But you got to
There
see
were
the
years-
playoffs.
And that's why I can sit here and respect you, Riv, because you know what? You actually are willing to admit that you were maybe wrong in a previous, but are willing to give him his flowers.
I don't